It's the smallest dog on the planet. The one you laugh at. The one nobody takes seriously. You think you know this little dog. You have no idea. From Turchyna to Chihuahua, how a god became a lapdog.
You've seen it shaking in a handbag, snapping at a dog 10 times its size. Trembling little body is hiding a secret older than the pyramids it came from.
To the Aztecs, these were not ordinary animals. They were sacred companions, linked to Xolotl, the god of death and lightning. People believed a dog could see what humans could not, that it walked between the world of the living and the world of the dead.
When you died, your soul faced a wide black river. No human could cross it alone. It needed a dog, and not just any dog.
When a noble died, his dog was buried with him, sent into the afterlife at his side to guide his soul through the darkness ahead.
Ancient Mexico had pigs, no sheep. So when protein was scarce, served a much darker purpose. They were food. These dogs were sacred. They were also dinner. Small dogs were raised and sold for meat, right beside rabbit and deer. When the Aztecs tied these dogs to a god, they weren't all the same. Researchers describe 3 distinct types of the Turchyna. Let me show you each one. The first line, just 3 to 4 pounds, fragile, fine-boned, with thin legs, an arched back, and a long, silky coat. Say this tiny one was the favorite of the Emperor Moctezuma himself. The second was sturdier, 5 to 6 pounds, heavier in the bone, but with the same domed head and the same long, flowing coat. The third was low and solid, 7 to 8 pounds, short legs, a broad head, and a short, smooth coat. And that short coat hides a story of its own. So how do we know all this? Because they left us proof, little dogs. These little dogs, sculpted from life, over 1,000 years ago.
Hundreds of them survive today. Ancient clay dogs from the shaft tombs of Colima, now kept in museums like Mexico's National Museum of Anthropology. Frozen in clay, they show us exactly how these dogs once looked.
Then the Spanish came. The empire fell, and these dogs were eaten by the thousands, almost wiped out. A desperate few escaped into the mountains and went wild.
The ancient temple dogs were silent. They barely made a sound. But the mountains taught them to bark, to warn, to fight. Fear kept them alive.
Survival rewrote them. The shaking, the barking. That's not a flaw. It's centuries of staying alive.
Surviving alone in the mountains, hunted by hawks and coyotes, only the loudest and fiercest made it. Nature was breeding a whole new dog.
For 300 years they hid. Around 1850, travelers found these tiny, fearless dogs and named them after one Mexican state, Chihuahua.
By the 1800s, American travelers crossing into Mexico spotted these tiny dogs in the border villages and started buying them as living curiosities. Local sellers, seeing the demand, began offering them to every visitor who passed.
And DNA proves it. The Chihuahua is one of the oldest dog bloodlines in the Americas, here long before the Aztecs, long before us.
DNA from ancient Mexican dog remains shows a clear, unbroken line to the dogs of the deep pre-Columbian past, including a genetic signature found only in these Native American dogs and still carried by the Chihuahua today.
Look closely at the Chihuahua. This is not just a tiny toy, and certainly not an accessory. This is the very oldest dog in the Americas. They were here long before the Aztecs, and long before any other breed on this continent. Imagine a brave little survivor, one that walked these lands over 10,000 years ago and simply never left our side. Every single Chihuahua alive today still carries that ancient, proud bloodline. They are a breathing, living piece of a magical world that vanished 500 years ago. A god, a meal, a guide for the dead. So next time a Chihuahua shakes at your feet, show some respect. Subscribe and tell me which animal we uncover next.